fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store, houseofboxing.com. We've been joined once again by Gareth A, Davies. Huge fight week, kicking off Riyadh season. Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou. This has got such a big fight feel. I mean, look at the setup we are here in the background for the grand arrivals. How are you feeling sort of being here? And it's got that buzz about it, hasn't it?
I got out of my Uber about half a mile away over there and I walked all the way down the boulevard trying to find Times Square 2. And like all I saw was neon of Battle of the Baddest and Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou, and it feels like walking down the Hollywood Boulevard and then into Vegas. I mean, I've only just arrived. I'm quite blown away by it, and I think everybody is in. Like, there's almost like a shocked quiet about it. The people are so friendly. It really does feel very special. I don't know if you agree with me, but it 100%. Really does.
Feels unique, and for people who haven't been to this part of the world, like, it really is incredible, and they're doing big things over here. Look, let's talk about this main event quickly. We know what Tyson Fury is, what he is to the heavyweight division. We know what Francis Ngannou is, and he won't be coming here to lie down and picking up the biggest bag of my career. For him, this is about winning. Spoke to him yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday, him and Tyson. He's very confident. What do you make of his demeanour and how he's handling the occasion? He seems like, you know, he's really bang up for this.
Francis or Tyson?
Yeah, Francis.
Oh, Francis. I've just seen Francis. I'm staying in the same residence, hotel residence, a few miles away, and I've met members of his family in the last 24 hours.
Good guy.
He's such a good guy. I mean, you wait till you see his outfit tonight. He is on point for this. Of course he's bang up for it. No one expects him to win, apart from the people around him, people that love him, the people that have trained him, the Mike Tysons of this world. It's a huge opportunity. If he wins this, I think he creates the biggest shock upset ever in the history of heavyweight combat sports, maybe, you know? If you're going to ask me how, I think he's got to go hard, lots of punches for the first 10 minutes, say, of the fight, and just look to catch Fury.
I know this is a bit of a question, obviously, with boxing fraternity, but how do you see the fight panning out? You think Tyson, everyone says, look, Tyson will do as he pleases in there, and I think, well, look, we see this often when we get these combat athletes cross over into this world, because you don't know what to expect. It can make it awkward for a couple of rounds. But what do you think will happen? Give us your official fight night prediction.
Ding, bell rings.
Let's now welcome
Tyson Fury
sits Russia,
back, long
now
jab,
fighting out of Montreal,
sits on the ropes,
Quebec,
moves
Canada.
around,
He
smiles
brings
at
an undefeated
Ngannou,
record
totally
with
focused.
17
You
wins.
can tell Fury's
16
focused.
of
His
his
entire
17
team are very
wins
focused. They're really
coming by
on it.
way of
Shane, the
knockout.
no man,
This
yes
Saturday
man,
night
Big
he will
John's
be
here, big
defending his
entourage.
NABF
All big guys, like an international rugby team,
championship.
isn't it, when they're all
Here is
together.
Arslanbek,
I think
the
he'll
Lion
keep
Makhmudov.
Ngannou behind the jab. I think Ngannou will start to try and march forwards, get on his chest, throw his hands. We might have a bit of drama in those first 3 rounds. If Ngannou lands, Fury might get wobbled. But I don't think Fury's going to go toe-to-toe with him straight away, because that's going to give Francis the biggest opportunity in the fight. And my feeling is that he'll demoralise Francis, and I think he'll stop him around rounds 4 or 5, because I think he'll get tired in there, because MMA is a different sport. Spoken to Dewey Cooper, obviously the trainer and the one of the brains behind Francis fighting in boxing, and I think he will. They've trained. I know that they've really worked on his fitness for this. I've seen some of those.
It's crucial, isn't it?
It's really crucial, because if Francis goes 10 rounds against Tyson Fury, his stock rises. He might get Joshua next. He might get Wilder next. They love him here, clearly. They want to invest in him. The narrative arc of his life is extraordinary. The story, the journey.
Come from nothing.
From nothing. And you know, his mother and his sister were telling me, his youngest sister, were telling me earlier today, en français, that he's such an idol for the children now in Cameroon. People can see what Big Francis has done. and he's really inspiring a generation. They're all eyes are on him, what he can do.
Well, look, for Tyson Fury, is this about? I suppose there's more emphasis on this fight for him from before we spoke to him in the press conference, because he was very dismissive of Usyk, and we know what he's like. He knows what to say and he knows how to play it. And if he wants to come out and say something to rattle everybody here and to be, he does that. We know this. Fight got signed.
Yeah.
And barring any cuts or anything, he says, look, fight's got signed. I'm not going to go in there not to get cut. If I get cut, we do it down the road, but he'll be aiming to do a job here. Pressure's on here not to get, because all it takes is a head clash and that fight gets pushed back. Do you think is any part of him will be like, you know what, I need to make this a little bit safe for the first few rounds, to say ultra safe, just in case?
That's the double-edged sword that Tyson Fury is facing in this fight, and in a way it's a disadvantage. I mean, it's an advantage to Ngannou, because a rocket fuel is going to be put in his body, saying he's fighting Usyk. Now, he hasn't fought me yet, so there's that side of it. Fury is a massive favourite, and in that sense, the fact that he's a massive favourite, some part of him psychologically, I don't mean he's going to underestimate Francis Ngannou, but he knows what a big favourite is. He knows that he's expected to win. He knows he's got the skill set. He knows he's the teacher in there in terms of boxing. So, you know, there's all that jeopardy is on Tyson Fury's shoulders. But as we know Tyson, he switches on for these big occasions. He loves these big occasions. I don't think he will put a foot wrong. I don't think he can afford to. And if you're alluding to the fact that are they going to make this on December the 23rd, if he comes out unscathed, that is what I'm hearing behind the scenes. That there's a genuine appetite for him to have a few days off, go back into camp and make this fight.
I want to move on to something else now. I spoke to Tyson about this and asked him his opinion on it for obvious reasons. Anthony Joshua has apparently spent a couple of thousand to go spend a few days in a dark room, character building, subconscious mind. We know he's big on thinking. He's been obviously accused of overthinking things before, and look, it's I suppose part of his evolution as a man or whatever he thinks. Tyson said to me, he said, well, my thoughts on that are out in the cold, and his whole team shouted
in
frozen.
The dark.
Yeah, well, in the dark, yeah. What do you make of that? Anthony Joshua's doing this bit of character building. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Well, actually, when I heard that he went to a dark room for 4 days, I think it was 4 days, wasn't it?
4 days.
For two grand, I was thinking, I wouldn't mind trying that. Who wouldn't mind trying it? No, I think it's...
Someone spent 4 days.
No, it's a long time, whatever it is.
Yeah.
All those hours in the dark, 120 hours, or can I do my maths? No, it's less than 96.
Long. Why do you think he's doing that? What's your thoughts?
I really don't know, because I haven't looked into it other than the top line that's what he's done. But I think I've liked everything I've heard from Anthony Joshua recently, even to the point where he said I'd fight on the undercard of Fury and Usyk. Because what does that lead to? That leads to a fight with
Fury, if he wins.
Exactly. And, you know, I mean, with the promoter's hat on, not a purist fan's hat on, keep Joshua winning till Fury's had the fight with Usyk, and then we get the fight we all want to see in this generation. I'd much rather see Joshua have a couple of wins against, the kind of opponents he's been facing in the last 6-7 months than face Wilder, get knocked out. Where does he come to from there? Yeah. I think Wilder's a difficult opponent for anyone. I think Wilder's a difficult opponent for Usyk as well. So if he can get that done, I can really... I love the idea of him being on the undercard.
That would be one of the most insane cards in boxing history, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think it'll be Wilder Joshua. If it
Let's
does
now
happen,
welcome, coming to us from Evanston, Illinois, USA.
Because I think they'll be building towards that Fury, and they won't do the jeopardy for Joshua. I'm thinking promoter. I'm not thinking, the ultimate fight. But God, if it did happen, that would be one of the biggest cards we've seen in a very, very long time. Here's the key. The investment in heavyweight boxing from Saudi Arabia right now hopefully will bring together those 5-6 fights that we need in this generation. Obviously this is a showpiece, a crossover fight, 2 tribes going to war, different nations, different continents, Africa and Europe, the traveller and the huge African man meeting in the desert dust of Riyadh, and then afterwards potentially Joshua and Fury, Joshua and Usyk again, maybe Wilder and Usyk.
Wilder Joshua as well.
Wilder, all of them, amazing, and it would complete the era. And I love the fact that on this card you've got Arslanbek Makhmudov, who unbeaten. Yes, he's not the youngest heavyweight, built like a tank, giant Russian, cool as you like, undefeated. I think almost most of his wins have been by knockout.
Yeah.
Very skilled boxer, great amateur pedigree, and there's I don't know, there's a feel of ignition around this whole. We talked about at the top of this interview. There is something big going on here. It's a paradigm shift in the heavyweight division.
And the chief support, by the way, Fabio
Yeah.
Walde, British title fight,
Yeah.
sanctioned as well over here. David Adelaide, that's it. But look, I want to talk to you about something else. TalkSport.
I just wonder if I was missing.
No,
it.
you're not.
Yeah.
TalkSport. It came out. Shane Fury did an interview with Boxing King Media.
Yeah.
Says that TalkSport were banned, and obviously you're here. You've come over. But what do you make of all that? The fact that they were banned from here. Are you surprised with that? Because I know I saw Simon Jordan's comment. Said, look, we've said, look, best heavyweight, this, that, and the other, and we've made certain remarks. Are you surprised that this is the case, or are you not surprised?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm here, but I remember I have several hats that I wear.
Yeah, and that's why I said
be
sure,
it Telegraph or I mean, I've done recordings back at home for William Hill on this event. Obviously not here. Telegraph want stories here this week. I mean, I'm reporting for them. I'm doing podcasts for the promotion. Battle of the Baddest podcast, obviously it's called. It's pretty obvious what it is. I think boxers are very sensitive. I can remember writing one story about Ricky Hatton and upsetting his mother after like years of coverage, or one thing about Carl Froch, or I think it's not what you do, it's the way that you do it. It's not what you say, it's the way that you say it. And I think they have been sensitive about it. I don't buy that. I've never bought this. I've been consistent on this. That Fury's not ducking Usyk. Ego, money, timing. That's what brings these biggest fights together. And they've taken a decision to do that. I don't think TalkSport here, radio. I don't think BBC are here. I think BBC Radio broadcasting. I'm not sure about. No, I'm not actually sure about it. But they've taken that decision. They've decided to stand by that. And TalkSport's presenters have their own opinion on that. I know they tried to get the fight, and it just is what it is. I mean, I don't. People have opinions. We all have opinions about things. I didn't have the opinion ever that Fury and Usyk wasn't going to happen. The timing wasn't right, and I know
you've been consistent with that as well.
No, but I also know that behind the scenes, Usyk didn't want that fight at Wembley on April the 29th either, because it didn't work for him. They're all waiting for this money and this event, and the fact that this is the pinnacle of their lives in athletic terms and commercial terms. So it is what it is,
Well, Gareth, I appreciate you giving us some of your time as always. It's always a pleasure, whether it's New York, Poland, Saudi Arabia, you always give me your time. Vegas, oh my God, get me back there.
Belfast, where you saved my life.
We're never going to forget that. We're never going to forget that trip. Absolutely. Gareth, always appreciate your time. We'll catch up soon.
Always a pleasure. Cheers, man. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.